So everything you see here in this Notion document was created by Claude. So this is my client onboarding package that has just been built. Claude spent a minute or so to just create this onboarding document based on just me pasting responses from my intake form. And this Notion document contains like my first week checklist, prep notes before my first call, and other important information I need before the first week engagement with my client. It also went ahead and drafted this email that is sitting in my Gmail draft as well. This welcome email is a typical template I send every time I have to engage with a client. So Claude went ahead and created this email. I didn't have to do any of this myself. All I basically had to do was just paste in the response from my intake form, and then Claude went ahead and basically created the package for me and also drafted the email for me. Just note that this email is actually sitting in my draft folder, so I didn't ask Claude to send this email. Everything that gets generated by Claude, I always try to I check it, because I don't replace the human part of the entire client relationship or the entire engagement. And at the end of this video, I'm actually going to give you the exact prompt and the exact instructions I use. I'm going to drop it in my school community. So if you're not in my school community, just make sure that you join my school community. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, so I'm going to come into Claude as a first step. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on projects and I'm going to create a new project. And this new project, I'm going to call it client onboarding. Now, I already do have a project called client onboarding, so I'm just going to use that as an example. So once you create client onboarding as a project, you basically have to scroll down and add instructions. Now, let me explain what a project really is. So a project is just like a workspace where Claude keeps your instructions and your documents. So you can set it up once and reuse it forever. That's the whole definition. And it's good to have a project because at the end of the day, if you have a project, you're able to keep the memory and the context within that confines of the project. So that's why you want to use a project for this. Now, once you create a project, you can see that you have things like instructions, memory, context. Okay, so I'm interested in instructions. So in here, I already do have those instructions pasted here, and this is the instructions I mentioned I'm going to drop in my school community so that you can have access to it and tweak it for your own processes. Okay, so let's go over these instructions here. So you can see that I have in here that my client onboarding assistance, and I've mentioned the things I want out of this exact project. I paste in the intake summary. I basically wanted to draft the welcome email, draft it and put it in my Gmail account. I also have like a kickoff agenda that I need as an output. I have the first week checklist, prep notes. So again, all the things listed here are just specific to me. If you have other steps in your own onboarding flow, you can basically put that in here as well. And then these 3 lines here, like doing the heavy lifting, these are like guardrails or rules that I've put in place. So I've said like never invent details the client did not provide. List it as a question instead. Okay, so this is something I've put it in here. I also have another line that says that everything that is client facing stays labeled draft until I approve it. This way, nothing actually like gets sent to the clients without me approving it. I also do have another line in here that never create a Notion page or Gmail draft before I approve it, and never edit or delete any other Notion page or email. Like these are all like guardrails I've put in place just to ensure that this does not go ahead and do anything that I really do not approve of. So let's move on. So now that I have my instructions and everything set, the next thing that I want to talk about is, because I'm using Notion and because I'm using Gmail, I want to make sure that I have those connected. Okay. And again, if you're not using Notion and you're using another tool, you can basically do that as well. I'm going to click the plus button and I'm going to click on connected. So you can see that I already do have my Gmail, I already do have my Notion connected in here. But if I didn't have them, then I'll just basically come in here and then I'm going to click on add connector and I'm going to click on browse connectors, and you can see that there are so many connectors in here that you can actually use. So Google Calendar, Canva, it really comes down to if you're using Microsoft 365 instead of Gmail, then you can use the Microsoft 365 connector. So there are so many connectors in here that you can actually use, and this is what lets Claude actually creates the page and draft instead of just showing me text. I would have to copy and paste again, because copying these things around is basically the job we are trying to delete. We are trying to delete all the manual work. Now that I have my connectors ready, you can see that I have like Gmail connected, I have Notion connected. Step 3 is basically the part a lot of people skip, and I'm giving it 3 documents. This is very important to give it like context. So if you come in here, you can see that I have context in here, and this could be a document, this could be added as a document, this could be added as text. Okay, so if you already have sample emails that you send, because this is going to be sending emails on my behalf, if you already do have sample emails that you send, then you can basically come in here and upload them from your computer. If you don't have them, you can add them as text. Because I have Google Drive and Notion connected, if you have these sample emails in your Google Drive or your Notion, then you can do that as well. So in here, I've just added my kickoff agenda templates, and I've added my welcome email templates. And again, if you have been doing onboarding, most likely your templates are always the same, like it's a similar template across everything. So you just put it in here so that Claude has the context, he understands your brand voice and everything, so that anytime it's sort of like drafting the email or drafting the tone and everything, make sure that it's using your tone and all that. Because here's the difference: without it, you actually get an AI voice, something like thrilled to embark on this journey with you, and probably that's not what you want your clients to see you as, right? Nobody really talks like that to their clients. Your clients will smell it instantly. So with one real email template, or as many email templates you want to produce as possible, it would write just like you on a good day. It's going to have the same warmth, the same phrasing, and then your sign up. If you only do one thing from this video, is this: just make sure that you give AI one real example of you, provided with the right context, and you'll be amazed about the results you get. Okay, now it's time for us to just run, and this is where it actually gets fun. So I'm going to paste in here like a sample client, and I'm going to say this clearly: Jordan is made up for this demo. So this is not real client information. So I'm just basically demoing how this will actually look like. So I'm just going to paste this on top here. You can see the name is Jordan. This is just a made up name. It's telling me the business he's doing, the type of package he went for, the goal from the form. What he wants to achieve is basically he wants to stop losing evenings to admin and actually prep for his sessions. I mean, it can be a lot more elaborate than this, but like once you have this set up, it's basically easy to do anything else. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to hit enter. And once I hit enter, you'd realize that it would come back and ask me to approve. And then once I approve, we can move on to the next step. So this has been created for us. Notice that nothing has been created in Notion just yet. This was just created in here for us. And if you remember from the instructions I had initially, I had said that nothing should be created in Notion, or no email should be drafted if I haven't approved it. Okay, so you can see that it's giving me the intake summary, and these are the specific things I asked it for. It's giving me other things I need to take note of. It's drafted a welcome email. Notice that in here it says draft, just because inside my instructions I was specific and said draft. And yeah, so you can see that the subject is here. I'm really glad you're here. So you can see if there are things in here you don't like, you can basically come in here and disapprove it, edit it. It's very important to do all that just to make sure that you are reviewing the information before it gets sent off to your client. And then you can see that it has a kickoff agenda and everything written out for me. And so all I have to do here is, if I like it, I can just go ahead and approve it. And once I go ahead and approve it, it's going to go ahead and create this page inside Notion, and also create the draft email inside my Gmail account. So it's asking, where do I want to? So I'm just saying a standalone private page. Now, if you notice that these questions keep coming up, and inside your instructions inside the Claude project, you can just go ahead and say that always create a standalone private page. Inside Notion, depending on how you've structured your Notion, if you want it to fall under a specific database, you can also mention it as well. Okay, so right now, everything has been created for us. You can see that the Notion page has been created. So if I should open the link, you see that we have a Notion page created for us. So the Notion page has been created for us. You can see that it has the intake summary, it has the first week checklist, it has the prep notes, the kickoff. So if I come in here and I go to drafts, you can see that I have this drafted newly for me inside my Gmail. So that's it, guys. Now let's do the honest math here. This took me about 3 to 4 minutes end to end. And out of that 3 to 4 minutes, 90 seconds of that was me doing the review. And if you were going to be doing this manually, it would probably cost you 2 to 3 hours per client. So if you are assigning 3 clients a month, that's somewhere around 6 to 9 hours back every month, not by working faster, but by deleting work that never deserved your attention in the first place. And my favorite part is that every client now gets the same first week, okay? The welcome email goes out the day they sign, not 3 days later when you get to it. The system is consistent so that you are a lot more personal. And then also notice what we didn't do. We didn't buy anything. We didn't learn a new tool. Notion and Gmail tools we already use. All we had to do was we wrote 5 lines of the process and gave Claude one good example of our voice, and it was able to do this for us. Okay, that is it for today's video. Like I said, if you're interested in the exact prompt, you can join my school community. It's free. Also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, I noticed that a lot of people who watch me are not subscribed to my channel. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do hit the subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell so that I get notified anytime I post our new content. But as usual, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.